evolution of consciousness as taught by Maharishi's Vedic science and technology of consciousness, seeking to cultivate a new era for humanity, bringing heaven to earth. Consciousness is the light by which mankind looks out onto the world to experience it by. When that same light is turned in upon itself, the result is consciousness, then knows itself as unbound, free, the source of all creation. During the sleep state, there is no perception at all of the self or the environment. When we're dreaming, our awareness is processing stored impressions in order to properly organize and release what's been experienced during the waking hours. An illusionary experience occurs, but with little to no self-referral involved. In our ordinary waking state, a sensory stimulus allows the perception of an object to overshadow the self, Atma. In transcendental consciousness, we have quite the opposite experience, wherein the Atma is in full perception, but only when there is no external stimuli. It is the experience of the eternal and unbounded awareness beyond any thought or sensory input. As we progress to cosmic consciousness, we begin to experience both the absolute infinite self and the relative waking world around us simultaneously. Establishing that sense of identifying with the never-changing aspect of pure consciousness begins to retune and refine our nervous system on a physiological level, enabling further expansion of awareness and perception to even finer levels. As we are able to perceive the finest values of the relative, a truth is subtly revealed to the experiencer. That essence of pure, unbounded consciousness is the basis of all of life. With this knowing, we relate to everything we put our focus on as ourselves. As we move gracefully from unity consciousness into Brahman, the entirety of creation within our perception and beyond is now associated with the Atma. One sees only totality, unified field, the self. The universe works in cycles and spirals, as we see with the golden ratio, formation of galaxies, and even in the changing of the seasons. This is true also where human behavior is concerned in regards to the laws of nature. When out of alignment with these laws, we see a negative feedback loop, and so too a positive cycle of interaction when we are attuned to the universe. The natural tendency of life is to grow. As Charles Alexander once said, an intervention to transcend language may be as necessary to cultivate higher states of consciousness beyond ordinary waking as language learning was to develop adult thinking. Transcendental consciousness is the experience of inner freedom and autonomy, the self, boundless, infinite, unchanging. When our thoughts are stilled, pure self-awareness is gained, while mental activity decreases and ultimately ceases. Transcending is automatic, conducted by the natural tendency of the mind to follow trails of greater happiness. The human brain is unassembled at birth. Our development begins with our awareness being identified first with outer objects, pre-conventional thinking. And then, propelled by inner maturation and outer experience, the awareness becomes identified with more abstract inner levels of thinking, conventional and post-conventional, until finally culminating with the state of enlightenment, post-conventional thinking. A very important factor to consider is that our reality is structured by our level of brain development and capacity to comprehend. Now, for the cosmic psyche to become a permanently established state of awareness, it is necessary that there be a particular level of purification to the nervous system, activating brainwave coherence and synergy in the hemispheres of the brain. We systematically develop these circuits through alternating the experience of pure consciousness and normal activity. Maharishi's Vedic psychology provides a unique understanding of the human psyche in the use of an applied technology called transcendental meditation. To unfold the full range of human potential, learning to identify the basis of the individual mind as the cosmic psyche. Extensive psychological and physiological research shows that these programs considerably accelerate the natural process of growth beyond the ordinary waking state. Becoming enlightened is shown to result in freedom from stress, unfoldment from mental potential, and fulfillment and successful actions in accordance with natural law, leading the individual, and eventually society as a whole, to a life of heaven on earth. Awareness starts to coexist with that of the finite values of physicality. Because of this experience, our comprehension of the boundaries and that which lies outside of them becomes more complete. as if switching the lens of perception from an ordinary one to a wide-angle lens. Still able to capture the most refined values of the object in focus, whilst now also having the capacity to include much more of the surrounding scene. When one is saturated in universal love, then one finds fulfillment within the vast ocean of divine wisdom. Refinement of perception gives rise to an expansion in the heart, and from this silent ocean of bliss begins to rise waves of devotion. This results in a purification of a digestive product known as ojas, a powerful yet peacefully flowing source of life force energy, said to give us great strength or Shakti power. Within unity consciousness, all experience and perception is in terms of the self. No diversity of life is able to detract from this state of supreme unity, bridging the gap between the relative and the absolute. The object of knowing, the knower, and the process of knowing all melt into one, as eternity pervades every moment of existence. Anything that is born evolves. Evolution is natural. Vyasa wants everyone to evolve in such a manner that the course of evolution is known to himself, not just drift on the path of evolution like a river which does not know where he is heading. He wants everyone to desire to know Brahman and then to evolve to that value. Brahman is nothing other than the absolute knower, the point of full enlightenment, known as a state of two wholenesses, the union of silence and dynamism. For silence, Atma, without dynamism, Buddhi, is existence without intelligence, and dynamism without silence is intelligence with no sustainable existence. Only when both come together in harmony does the true nature of consciousness reveal itself, eternally existing, eternally creating. We are one.